Grace be unto you and peace from God our Father and from the Lord Jesus Christ. I was glad when they said to me, let us go into the house of the Lord. I'm Father Steve Sellers. Thank you so much for tuning in today for this brief daily message of hope. When you were growing up, what was your favorite hiding place? You know, we generally, as children, picked out a place that we thought would be safe, that especially if we did something we weren't supposed to do, that we could just go and seek solace and silence and solitude and would be safe. Well, I used to hide in the back of my closet when I was a little toddler, thinking that my parents would never know where I was. I talked to people whose hiding place used to be underneath the bed. My puppy Dot, who's right here at my feet, being very sweet right now, hides under the bed when she has done something that she knows she's not supposed to do. Where have you chosen to hide? I was reading this morning from Psalm 142. If you haven't read Psalm 142 in a while, look at it. This was written by King David when he was hiding in the cave at Adullam, where he was on the run from King Saul during the civil war in Israel. David had actually gone to the enemy camp and pretended to be insane and wound up in the cave, hiding, fearful for his life. Indeed, he probably wrote Psalm 140 and 141 from the cave also. And here's what he writes from the middle of his hiding place. He says, I cried aloud to the Lord. I lift up my voice to the Lord for mercy. I pour out my complaint before him. Before him I tell my trouble. When my spirit grows faint within me, it is you who know my way. In the path where I walk, men have hidden a snare for me. Look to my right and see, no one is concerned for me. I have no refuge. No one cares for my life. I cry to you, O Lord, I say, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. In the midst of his hiding place, King David recognized that there was one with him who loved him and cared for him when no one else did. And it was the Lord his God. Whatever your hiding place is, some people retreat into their mind. That little piece I played at the beginning was written by the great Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, called In My Room. And indeed, Brian Wilson had a mental breakdown toward the mid part to the latter part of the 1960s, probably from the use of drugs. He's described this himself. And it put him in his room, and he stayed in bed, the legend was, for 2 years in bed, unable to interact, to tour, to write music. This great musical genius. There was a documentary done several years ago where his girlfriend asked him, I want to ask you a personal question, Brian. Did you really spend 2 years in bed? And Brian said, no, I think it was more like 3. He ruined his mind from using drugs and from also the inspiration that he kept getting to write music. He was a legend, is a legend. And when you see him now, he still suffers the repercussions of that period of time. It took him probably 20 years to get back where he could even perform again. But his hiding place was in his room. I don't know where your hiding place is, but wherever it is, know that God's there. He is your refuge. He knows your hiding place. He's already there waiting for you. There is nowhere in this life that you can go where you can escape from the love and the mercy and the gaze and the kindness and the compassion of God. Wherever you're trying to hide, he's already there. And he loves you while he's there and while you're there. So do like David. Recognize when you're hiding from the rest of the world that you can't hide from God. He's with you and he loves you. And I am not sure where my little puppy went. I think she's somewhere. There she is. She is down here on the floor with her favorite little toy, her little monkey. And this poor little monkey of Dot's has no head anymore. It's her favorite toy. She has severed the monkey's head. So that's what puppies do sometimes. I hope you have a blessed day, and God willing, I will see you here again tomorrow.